talking about maybe teams that might want to give you a player for that pick, or not really?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of conversations, but I mean, my intention was to be open if there was a way to help the team now to move in the pick, and a lot of conversations, but yeah, no, as you can see, like, not many first-round picks are traded and that type of deal. But we worked at it and ultimately didn't feel like we were comfortable with anything that was presented, and we were excited to make the pick.
What excites you about Mrtka?
Well, I think, it's a package that's pretty rare. 6'6", right shot defenseman that plays good two-way game, good with the puck, good feet, mobile, plays hard, really, really good kid. And just in my experience as general manager over the years, it's extremely challenging to get those type of players if you don't draft them. So we just felt when that guy's on the board, that was the right pick to make.
How do you project Radim Mrtka? Is he NHL ready, or how to develop?
Yeah, I mean, I think with these young players, they take time. You don't want to rush them, but I just philosophically, I always feel like they'll tell us when they're ready, and then you make room. If that means right away, it's great. If it means year, 2 years, 3 years, you just don't know. But there's a good player there, and we project him as a top 4 right shot defenseman whenever that time comes. We'll see, but excited about him.
When you end up getting to that spot, I mean, Burke is there, Wayne is there, was that a pretty easy pick? I know you had a lot of interest in guys in the combine.
In both those players, yeah, they're both extremely talented, and yeah, I mean, we like the other guy you mentioned a lot as well, but just where we had Mrtka on our list, was ahead, and like I said, it's just you get to that spot, it's tough to pass on a guy like that with that package.
Can you talk about the trade situation? I'm assuming most of it was you guys inquiring, trying to make a move, and it's just you weren't getting a lot of interest from other teams. Is that accurate? I mean, they weren't that interested and that willing to do much.
Yeah, I guess that's the best way to say it is it's just tough to this time of year, the way it goes, to get an impact player off of a team right now for a draft pick. That's just, probably guess just the easiest way to say it. But we were having conversations right up till, close to when the pick was made, but just there weren't the deals that I felt would have made our team better, and that's what I set out to do. If we were going to trade pick 9, it was because it was going to help the Buffalo Sabres right now be a better team, and that just didn't present itself.
What else stood out about him? I know you went through college, but what really like?
Well, I think his background is unique, and Frank Musil in Czech Republic, our scout over there, he grew up relatively close to him, and he knew the family background and just his path. Not easy to get where he's gotten, and then his even transition from Europe into North America this year, the steps he took. I personally saw him at the Holenka last year in Edmonton, whatever, is that August, and he caught my attention right away just with the size and the mobility, and then so we were tracking him pretty close. But to see going from the Czech league, and you're not getting as much ice time as a young guy, and all of a sudden playing junior in the West Track, that's a big life transition. His English is great, just an impressive kid. So there's more than just a hockey player there. It's a pretty impressive kid just as a person as well.
Kevin, what made the deal with Utah something that you guys ultimately decided?
Well, I think for me, when I talked to you guys the other day about, you come out of the exit meetings at the end of the season, then you have your coaches meetings and meetings with Terry, and you just really start to put a plan together. Okay, what are we focused on? How do we make our team better? And ultimately, when we made the decision to make the trade, that's what we felt we were doing. We identified 6'5" right shot defenseman that we think has big upside still, competitive, plays hard, skates well, and really just for me, that was a critical piece that we needed to fill. We've been working on it for a long time and hadn't found the right fit and he is. So that was a big part of it. And then for me, Doan is someone that he's such a good, just competitive, honest, two-way player at a young age. And we think, he's going to step in our lineup and be impactful, but we think in time the ceiling is higher as well. He's going to be able to be an all-situation player, big, strong, physical, and elite character. And listen, both these guys, they want to be here. They're excited. They want to be part of the solution. And that, for me, when they checked the boxes that we were looking for, and then you add the character part, and I certainly did my homework. Even talked to Tage Thompson a few hours before the trade was finalized, just to make sure he had just spent time with them and knew both of them as well. But he was pretty excited when he heard the potential to bring these guys in our locker room.
How much talk was there, if any, about putting 9 and 4?
There was negotiations going on at different times. Ultimately, yeah, those are things that we went back and forth discussed. But for me, I was focused on Doan and Kesselring. That's the guys I wanted.
Understanding what they bring to your team, what you believe they bring to your team, how do you replace the offense that you're ultimately losing? Do you feel like you have that internally? Is that something you need to address, and how do you plan to do that?
Yeah, it's a great question, Matt, and it's something that we internally as a staff have spent a lot of time on, recently. And okay, if you take 28 goals out of your lineup, and potentially more, because JJ's still a young player, what do you do? How do you replace that? What happens? And some of it can be the internal, the guys like the Jack Quinns of the world and Zach Benson's, just progressing in their own game. But to be honest with you, when I really boil it down, I think with the talent that we have, we weren't as focused or concerned about scoring goals. It's more, can we defend better? Can we be a team that is harder to play against, defensively plays the game more responsible, I guess would be a better way to say it. And I think both of these players, that's why we focus so much on them, will help in that regard. So that's a big part of it. But it's a good question.
Yeah, on that note, when it comes to Bo Byron, what's the status there? Are you looking to resign, or is that something where you're looking to make a trade?
For me, Bo is he's an elite defenseman in the league right now, and so I am definitely open if it's kind of like the situation with JJ. If it's the right trade that we think helps our team, we're definitely open to that. In saying that, I love Bo Byram as a player and as a person, and I'm be more than fine with him part of our decor. Right now, the way our decor looks on paper with Bo in there is I think very, very good. So if it's the right thing and the right trade comes across, we'll definitely be open to it, but not something that I'm going to force.
Did Kesselring maybe take another step forward playing for Team USA? He was in a lot of high-pressure situations playing for them. Did you see him almost go to another level playing?
Yeah, I did, Paul. I think that's a good thing. If you notice that, he did elevate, and it felt like in big moments, wanted to be in those type of moments. And the other thing, in Utah, tracking him pretty close last year, there were, depending on what their health was in their lineup, there were times where he was, in a bigger role and was thriving in that. So that's part of the comfort of saying that, where we see him right now, we think he can be, in a top 4 role, and he can continue to grow and get better. So that was definitely something that we talked about.
At what point in the offseason you said you were comfortable or made the decision that you wanted to trade?
Yeah, I think, our intention after the season and when we sat down was to sign JJ. We had those discussions, and it became apparent to me and to our group that it wasn't going to work. And for me, then the focus was, if this isn't going to work, then how do we make sure we're helping the Buffalo Sabres improve? And that's going back to really getting guys like Doan and Kesselring that are going to play certain roles, the identity they have, this wanting to be part of the solution, that type of character is important. So that's why we did it.
Kevin, you say it wasn't going to work. How disconcerting is it that one of your top players didn't want to
No, it's not for me. It's hey, you get to the end of the season, you take all the information in. It's fine. It's what's best for the Buffalo Sabres, and the trade was what's best.
Was there really realistically any talk about dollars in terms with him and his agent, or was it just?
Yeah, I mean, we like made it clear to them in the early on that okay, we'd like to work at this and let's figure out a solution, and it became clear to me that wasn't going to happen, and that's when we changed our focus.
You mentioned, several times in the process that you guys need to find, a big right shot defenseman. Obviously, Kesselring is that. What do you still need to address? What are the holes you still have?
Yeah, I'd say that when we went into tonight, you're still talking about, hey, we need to be a better defensive team, and if there was, and maybe there still is, I mean, there's a long off season ahead of us, and there's still moves that could potentially be made, whether it's in the next couple days or sometimes after July 1st. Like last year, I think we traded for McLeod. I don't know, at some point a few days after July 1st, because sometimes the dust settles, and then teams that maybe were in on a player, it doesn't work out. So what I would say is we need to be better defensively. So we would look for that type of acquisition if they're available, whether that's free agency, trade. And I continue to say this, but we have to be harder to play against. We have to have guys in our lineup that just raise the compete level, and some of that can be, our own internal growth. Like our own players just getting harder and stronger, and even a year older. Some of that happens in the maturity. So. That'll be our focus the rest of the way. Yeah, Jack Quinn for me is there's so much upside there, and I think coming out of his entry-level contract, if you look at the path since when we drafted him, he's had some challenges, just with the health and the adversity, and I think physically he wasn't where he needed to be last year, and some of that was out of unfortunate circumstance. But what I do know about Jack Quinn is there is not a player that I've been around in my time here that assesses his own game as honestly as he does. And the honest conversations that I had with Jack after the season, I know he took to heart, and he's going to come back. He's going to come back better. So this is a contract that puts him in a position to kind of take the next step, and we're super excited about him. I think Jack's got a huge upside in front of him.
Did you make an attempt to sign JJ at all, like during the season or before the season, like try to engage in that?
Oh, you mean like last year at this time? No, I think the conversations for me, if I go back to whenever he hired his agent Alan Walsh, because he had originally had a different agent, and then had a new agent. That was probably a couple years ago. Every conversation with Alan from the moment JJ hired him was, hey, we really believe in this kid and think he's got upside. And whenever there were, whether it's, and it's not, I don't want to say it on a negative, whenever there were problems or concerns or things were arising or something was going on, Alan would call me. We'd have a great conversation. I would sit with JJ. We'd talk about it. And did we ever get into contract talks? No, over the year, but he knew that how we felt about him, and that we were excited about the potential in him. But we made the trade because we think it was the best thing for the Buffalo Sabres, and that's the truth.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks, guys.
I got it if I want it.